I first noticed it reading in bed one night. I loved reading in bed, but I started noticing that the words were all kind of swimmy, kind of blurry. I tried moving the book closer and farther away. I tried different positions, but I couldn't see clearly. And this was really troubling. I started thinking maybe my best reading days were behind me. Maybe that was just kind of how it goes. Eventually, I did go to an eye doctor, and I had an exam, and I got the diagnosis. I had gotten older. And it turns out that the prognosis was equally dire. The doctor said that I would continue to get older. And it turns out that this affliction impacts a lot of people all around the world. In fact, I would say that this impacts all people all around the world. Getting older and aging begins the day that we're born, and we will continue to get older our entire life. Aging is not some late stage, one-time moment in time. It's an ongoing process. So I decided on two things in the doctor's office that day. The first was that I was going to study getting older and have my students study it with me. And I decided to get glasses. I am a professor of entrepreneurship, and I, in particular, focus on a user-centered approach to research and design. A user-centered approach prioritizes the needs, the habits, the values, the lifestyles, the behaviors of the user, of the person being designed for, in order to design better for that person. Over the course of the last decade, I guided my students in ethnographic research of more than 6,000 adults, ages 65 plus, from all around the world. And as my students and I spoke with these older adults, we heard lots of stories. And many of the stories we heard over and over again. The stories were things like, I used to love going camping. I used to love going hiking. I used to love gardening. I used to love squash. But I don't go camping anymore because as my body's getting older, laying on the floor of a tent, not so comfortable. We heard stories like, this is my favorite bracelet. Anyone have a bracelet with a clasp like this? Most bracelets do. But I can't put this bracelet on by myself. Requires help to put on my bracelet, and I live by myself now, so I don't wear my favorite bracelet, or I don't wear my favorite dress with the zipper up the back. Why are they designed this way? And so I don't wear my favorite stuff anymore. I don't get to wear the clothes that I love. We heard stories like there's a coffee shop that I go to regularly, a cafe that I go to regularly, but the music there makes it really hard for me to hear my friend talking. And as I've gotten older and my hearing has changed, it's less and less comfortable for me to be in that cafe, in that coffee shop, in these places. So I don't leave the house so much anymore. Not because I don't want to leave the house, but because the spaces are not designed for me. And overwhelmingly, that's what my students and I learned, that there's a gap in the marketplace, that most products and services and brick and mortar places in the world are designed for people around the age of 28 or so. And as we get older, we find that there are less places and spaces and products for us to use because the products were not designed for us. We're asked to change and contort our bodies to products and services that were made for a much younger audience. My students and I categorize these 6,000 ethnographies into four core needs, four core user needs. And these are the needs of the older adults from all around the world that we heard from. There's a need to be in relationship, the idea that I don't want to be a burden to the people in my life. We call this need mutual reciprocity and connection. There's a need that I've treated my body well, my body has served me well, and I want to continue being able to take good care of my body. We call this need bodily reverence. The need to be active, to be alive, to have interesting things that fill my day, and to not sit idly. We call this stimulating pursuits. And finally, The feeling that when I die, I want to know that my life had purpose. I want to know that it mattered. And we call this last need legacy. And when I think about these 4 needs that we heard from the 6,000 older adults around the world, I always think to myself, all of these needs are pretty universal, right? They're things actually that most of us in this room want, ways that we would like to be as well. And really, this constitutes a missed opportunity, both from a social sense and also a financial sense. Every day in the United States, 10,000 people turn 60. And pretty soon, there will be more people above the age of 85 in the world than under the age of 18. In the 20th century, we've gained an average of 30 years of life. And older adults ages 50 plus make up more than half of all global consumer spending in the world. And by 2050, that value, that figure, will reach $96 trillion in spending by people above the age of 50. And yet, the same population of buyers, of consumers, when polled, feels overwhelmingly that products and services were not designed for them. So my students learning this set out to create companies that do work and make sense for older adults. They created companies in transportation, in healthcare, in dating, in consumer goods, all the different industries that exist. They created companies like a dance and fitness studio that caters specifically to older adults, like an apparel line that makes it more enjoyable to go hiking and camping, and a prescription pill service that utilizes the ritual of morning coffee to make the experience of taking medicine feel like less of a chore. Very often in product innovation, we focus on the problem, not the person being designed for. But getting older is not a problem. A person getting older is not a problem. Aging is not a problem. In fact, I think for most of us, we would say that aging is the goal. Often when I'm giving this kind of a talk or I'm sharing my research with people, people will say, oh yeah, I work on innovation for older adults as well. And they begin to talk about like cognitive decline or slip prevention, fall prevention. And yes, we need important, meaningful solutions to the devastating diseases that disproportionately impact older adults. But aging is not synonymous with disease. And it's not synonymous with dying. Aging is about living. The marketplace tells us what the good is. The products in the marketplace tell us what the good is. When I go hiking in the trails by my neighborhood around here, and there are benches every 100 feet or so, that tells me that it's okay to take little breaks. And if I were to go hiking and I didn't see those benches and I needed to take a break, I might conclude that I'm not supposed to be hiking, that hiking is not for me. Now that athleisure is trending, I'm happy to say that I have learned that it is okay to be both comfortable and stylish. And that is something that the marketplace taught me. When I go to grocery stores and I see plant-based protein powder, that lets me know that there are vegan weightlifters. The existence of products in the marketplace does more to normalize a range of experiences of different humans in different bodies with different interests than any PR campaign could do. The marketplace tells us what the good is. If I go to a makeup store right now and I try and buy lipstick, which I try and do all the time, and unfortunately it's not very successful because in a lot of makeup stores, the lipstick was designed for the lips of teenagers, not my more mature lips. So I'm basically told that I should change my lips with collagen and fillers so that my lips will work for makeup that was designed for someone else. We need more innovation in this space, not just in terms of lipstick, but a range of products at a range of price points for a range of ages with more nuance and more choices and more possibility. And the marketplace is really wide open. In my classroom, we define empathy as recognizing the gaps in our awareness. Empathy is not walking a mile in your shoes. Empathy is having curiosity about what it's like for you to take that walk. Sympathetic design says, I design for you. You're different than me. You're other than me. Empathetic design says, come, design with me. Let's design together. I'm curious about you. I want to learn about you. And in the case of older adults, one day I will be you. And how we think about aging tells us a lot about how we think about living. Why do we design products for 28-year-olds and not older adults? Is it because on some fundamental level, we find older adults not worthwhile? That we associate productivity and output with worth? I think that in doing, though, we not only ignore more than half of the global marketplace, but we diminish our own humanity. Fortunately for me, eyeglasses are trending, and I can buy them in lots of places. When I wear these glasses, people actually tell me that I look younger, ironically, that I'm cooler, that I'm smarter. And the boutique in Los Angeles where I bought these eyeglasses does not advertise products for people with vision loss. It just sells really cool eyeglasses for lots of different people at lots of different ages. God willing, we're all going to get older, hopefully much, much older. Aging is everyone's business. Studying aging and studying getting older has really changed the way that I live. And it's also changed the way that I think about the power of the marketplace. I believe that the purpose of entrepreneurship should not be to make more money. I believe the purpose of entrepreneurship should be to design the world that we want to live in, to design the world that we want to grow old in. It's been a great honor in my life to journey with my students as they create products and services for people who are older, and to inspire the next generation to think completely differently about aging. I urge you to do the same. Thank you.